Hey, get in here. Dallas is about to start.
Welcome to the Ewing Barbecue, where we talk about Dallas and we play the Dallas drinking game. For full rules on the Dallas drinking game, check out our website, ewingbbq.com. We are now in the middle of season 7. My name is Mary.
And I'm Sarah.
And I'm Brad. I'm a newly appointed Gulf Tour pilot. If you want to blow off your family on a Saturday, skip the pool party, or maybe avoid your side piece who is half your age, you can find me at gulftourpilot.org.
And I'm Josh. This is my alter ego, and this picture, Easter Bunny.
And he's being dead serious, too.
Yes.
And that's not going to translate very well to the audio version of this, but, you know.
Picture an Easter Bunny if you're listening.
That's okay. Very little of what Josh
So next time you take your kid to the mall, get his picture taken, beware.
He's best enjoyed visually.
Amy Hara has experienced
Josh, did you want to advertise the mall where you are the Easter Bunny?
This is the Natick Mall in Natick, Massachusetts, where at Christmas time they have the only Santa Claus experience in the country through Cherry Hill programs, which is a virtual elevator up to the North Pole, and it's gone viral around the country. Charlene Tilton has actually seen videos of it down in Tennessee, and I actually had Santa Claus record a special greeting for her and her grandchildren last Christmas.
Oh, that's sweet.
Love the seasonal work because it beats desk work.
Yes.
Awesome. All right. Well, first of all, I'd like to welcome our 2 new Patreon members. Who are Rob Summers and Eric Christensen, and our other Patreon members at the rodeo level and up, who are Brendan Phillick, Captain America, Carrie Carver, Amy Hara, Dr. Cindy Corliss, Jennifer Blake, Richard Lundberg, Marie Johnson, Corey Springhorn, Michael Hume, Jason Carter, Jennifer Indelicato, Laura Bernheim, Carl Reich, Anita Wren, and Kristen Carlano.
Thank you.
That is incredible.
We keep growing, and
we do, and it's amazing.
Keeps us.
I'm not
Thank
making
you, everybody.
and I'm not making fun. I'm being serious. I'm not making fun. I'm being serious. The 2 new patrons. Tell me their names again. It's Summer.
The 2 new ones are Rob Summers and Eric Christensen.
They sound like soap opera actor
Eric
names,
is
don't
the
they?
guy from Norway that did the Lego.
They sound like soap opera
That's
names.
the one.
Yeah,
I
we
knew
met
the
him.
name sounded familiar.
I'm so bad with names. Oh my gosh.
Lego South
The
Fork.
South Fork Lego thing?
Yeah. Which
That
I
was
still have
so
to put up
good.
on our website. I'm
Yeah,
way behind.
I
on
love that.
everything,
I'm so jealous.
but I need
I'm
to
sorry.
do that because
I'm sorry, Rob, if we met you. I don't. You didn't show us any Lego pictures, but if we
I
met
will
you,
always remember you now, though,
hopefully we'll
because
see you again.
I'm
I'd like
obsessed
to
with Legos.
introduce him to somehow or connect to a girl named woman named Amber Voigt from Belgium, Denmark, somewhere out there. She did the Hocus Pocus Lego houses, and she gets brought in every year for the Hocus Pocus event with Omri Katz and the cast, and she's become friends with everybody. So she comes all the way in from Europe to Salem for that weekend. It's always nice to
From Europe?
Yep.
Wow.
It's always nice to bring creative people together.
sure.
Yes.
Also, do we have any birthdays?
I went through all those birthdays last week, but I was remiss because a friend of mine posted that his mother's birthday was March 5th, and his mother is Talia Balsam, who played Rita Briggs in season 1, and she is 66. So I just wanted to throw that one out there because
Okay.
I went through most of them last week, so I will not repeat myself.
Just a quick one. We are streaming live on Twitch. So if you don't know what that means, you can go to Twitch, get the app, Twitch, sign up for free, follow Ewing Barbecue, and it will tell you when we go live. So you can watch us live, uncut, before Mary gets to this and chops it all up and makes it clean for public consumption.
And all the stuff that I cut out. Yeah. The good
Which
and
is all
the
of my
bad.
dogs and everything.
And it's available for replay. I don't know how long, maybe a week, something like that. Somebody can look and see.
Yeah,
if
a
last
week
week's is still up there
or
not.
so.
Yeah.
And you can also, if you don't have the app, you can just watch it on your browser and Twitch TV, twitch.tv/EwingBBQ.
You can even talk to us live.
So when I wasn't on the last couple of weeks, and I know Mary was on whenever the last one was, and I didn't know if that whenever she actually got to meet my dogs that bark in the background. And they're crazy. She actually got to physically meet them, and she stayed here.
I did.
Yeah.
And the one was very standoffish for quite a while.
Though that's a girl dog. And I don't know why she does that. I have no idea. But yes.
We didn't hear about any of the shenanigans, really. Mary's been pretty tight-lipped about all
We
that.
did good. We didn't really have like late night shenanigans and stuff. I mean,
what happens in Birmingham stays in Birmingham.
That's right. That's right.
I saw the T-shirt in Vegas. It says, "What happens in Vegas stays on Instagram, Twitch, and Facebook."
Yeah. Pretty much.
Okay, tonight we are talking about season 7, episode 15, episode 146 of the series, Offshore Crude.
I'm going to take Ewing Oil into the bidding all alone.
But you just told Bobby that...
What I told Bobby is between him and me, honey. You just take care of that nitwit Barnes.
I love you. I really love you.
With your help, I'll know how to top his bid. Do you realize what an incredible setup this is?
Yes, sir. I think I do.
This could ruin me. You have my word. Your secret is safe with me.
It was written by David Paulsen, directed by Ray Danton, and aired January 13th, 1984.
Friday the 13th.
First and only episode directed by this gentleman.
Yeah, who also was an actor for most of his career. He has over 120 acting credits. He quit acting in the late 70s and switched to directing. He directed mostly TV, but mostly Quincy M.E. and Cagney and Lacey.
And Magnum P.
So you also saw his name and were like, who the fuck is this guy? And looked him up.
Exactly. I was like, what
Magnum
is this? Right. And he and John Beck, a.k.a. Porn Stash, appeared together in an episode of James Gardner's short-lived Western series, Nicholas Deer Crossing from 1971. So
I've never heard of it.
And it says in the book that a lot of his roles were gangster roles, but he appeared in the 1961 World War II classic, The Longest Day.
What?
Yeah.
The longest what?
The Longest Day?
The Longest Day, 1962. Great movie.
Sarah.
It sounded like you said the longest dick.
Perfect. Almost a perfect movie.
Sarah,
Love that one. John Wayne's in that. Huge cast.
Take the bananas.
Of
It
course
really
you
did.
did.
No,
Take the
I mean, it
bananas
really
out of your
did
ears.
sound like the longest dick. Well,
It has nothing to
Okay.
do with John Holmes.
She's got Peter on the mind.
penis.
So also on
Peter.
January 13th, 1984,
Which is
the number
Friday the
one song in the U.S. was Say, Say, Say by Paul McCartney. In the U.K. was Pipes of Peace, also by Paul McCartney. He was having a moment in the beginning of 84. The number one film is still Terms of Endearment. In the news, Jack Tramiel, the visionary entrepreneur who founded Commodore International in 1954 as a typewriter repair service, better known to 80s kids as, Commodore 64. He stepped down from his roles as president and CEO. He had been instrumental in transforming the company into a pioneering personal computer manufacturer. And it's actually pretty interesting that he's stepping down now in 84 because the Commodore 64 came out in 83. So that's interesting.
Did it say why he stepped down?
Maybe he did all he wanted to do, and that was it.
Mic drop, peace out,
Well, did it say why he dropped out?
No,
Or
I
why
didn't.
He stepped
It just
down?
said that he stepped.
Sounds like a scandal to
I'm
me.
guessing
I love scandals.
maybe it was just he retired because if he started in 54.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess you're right.
Carrie says Sarah's back, so we're talking about dick.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it all adds up. Well, she didn't say dick. She bleeped it out, so she might have said anything there, but I'm going to assume
You don't
she,
have to bleep it out,
she
girl.
meant
We all
dick.
know. We all know.
Yeah.
Where do we get
It's
to
okay.
porn?
In other news, TV anchor Christine Kraft won a significant legal victory, receiving $325,000 in her lawsuit against KMBC TV. This case was likely related to workplace discrimination and highlighted important issues of gender equality in media during the 1980s. Born this day, January 13th, 1984. Nick Mangold, a professional American football center who played for the New York Jets in the NFL, known for his exceptional blocking skills. So Nathaniel Mott, an American musician and producer, one half of the electric pop duo, and I think I'm just gonna spell this because I don't know how you're supposed to say this, is 3 exclamation point 3. And I'm probably someone is laughing at me because they're like
303 maybe? I don't know. 303.
No, it's literally 30 or 30H exclamation point 3.
Yeah, 3.
Oh, you're saying that's pronounced at 303.
Flip it upside down.
Okay, maybe 303. Yeah. Okay.
Or flip it
Known for
upside down.
hit songs in the late 2000s and early 2010s. So that's probably why I don't know them.
Never heard of.
Also, Lourdes Arevalos, a Paraguayan beauty pageant contestant who was crowned Miss Paraguay in 2006, representing her country in international competitions. Conversely, died today was Ray Moore, an American comic strip artist.
Died today.
After Lee Falk, he was the first artist on what would become the world's most popular adventure comic strip, The Phantom, which started in 1936. Secondo Ricci, an Italian footballer who played as a defender, and on Dallas.
This episode came in at number 1, and it was the first time that Dallas had held the number 1 spot for 3 weeks in a row since season 4. We went through Ray Danton. Larry Hagman relished the role of JR, but not his business scruples. The year this episode aired, Hagman gave an interview which made clear that he was not abide by JR's tactics. Hagman said he met a guy on an airplane that really admired JR and really thought that he was JR, and he was into aggressive takeovers of companies, and he just thought that I was the role model, and he was a really despicable person. That, according to Larry Hagman.
Wow. Who said that?
Guy on an airplane that Larry Hagman met.
Just he didn't name him? That's funny.
Yeah, he didn't name him. He thought he was JR, and it's not Larry.
And Larry was like, that's not the point of the series, right? Okay.
Right. It's like the old lady that went into the supermarket. There was like the time Morgan Brittany said she was in the supermarket, and some lady came up and whacked her and said, "That's for breaking up Bobby and Pam."
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's a little bit like out there to me. Don't you think?
That's a little bit like call the paramedics.
It is a testament to their acting abilities that they are able to convince people that they are.
It's a testament to the mental health of
the
little ladies who go to grocery stores.
Say that as well.
Yeah, that too. But they're doing such a good job acting that they actually convince these people that they are those people. So
yes.
It's just a
job.
Some
trivia from this episode is that Cliff unkindly reminds Afton of a previous storyline that dates back to 1982, where she slept with Gil Thurman. That episode is Fringe Benefits. Clayton also mentions to Miss Ellie the venue that was really in Dallas called the Big Bandstand, which was the one place that still played big band music at that point of the 90s and 40s. And gone but not forgotten. This is the first time in many, many, many episodes when speaking with Edgar, JR mentions Westar, a competing oil firm that has gone unmentioned since falling off the series radar early in the 5th season. Westar and its brash CEO, Jeremy Wendell, played by veteran character actor William Smithers, are here being foreshadowed for a major comeback in the 8th through 12th seasons. Stay tuned.
I did not hear Westar. I heard him say he met him at something to do with Punk Anderson. And I was like, what?
He mentioned Westar in there.
I heard Punk.
It was real quick.
I heard Punk Anderson. So I was like, what the hell are they doing at Punk Anderson's? So they obviously made it seem like they had met before. Yeah. So.
Yeah. And a little bit of foreshadowing. Okay, so we open on the South Fork exterior night.
Dramatic music coming into the episode here.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's nighttime. It's dinner time.
I find that the show takes on a different essence when it starts at night. Like something's already on edge because it's starting at night.
Right.
It takes me back to when Kristen was found dead in the pool, and that was at night, and it just picked up right there.
Yeah. Or when JR was shot, or anything that starts at night, I just feel like it's got more intensity.
I still laugh because we just passed the 45th anniversary of the March 21st of the Who Shot JR episode. Not Who Shot, but when he got shot. But I still find it hysterical when the cleaning lady came in and found him and her scream.
Oh yeah. That is kind of significant. 45 years. That's amazing. I remember that summer, and I remember the. I was 4 years old, but I remember the magazine covers at the
Really?
checkout stand. I remember the talk about it like it was and I never knew what was going on. I didn't know it was a TV show
I don't
or
remember
whatever.
that
I just remember all that happened. But anyway, watching it now, if you just watch the episode and you know it's coming, of course, and then it just happens. I just kind of put myself in that place, like if I was watching this on a Friday night in 1980 and I don't necessarily know what's going to happen, but it comes to the end and it's like, if I'm just watching this on a Friday night and then it's 10 o'clock, and it's over, like he gets shot and it's 9:53 p.m. and it's over and it's like, we don't have the internet. We don't have, cell phones. I'm just stuck sitting there. Like, did anybody else see that? Like,
and there was a
strike and you had to wait that much longer. Right, but just in that moment, that Friday night, that Saturday, or that weekend, like I just got to think that if you were really a fan of the show, like it must have just like consumed you. Like, what the hell? And who do you talk to? Like you call your mom, you call your sister, or whatever.
Period where you had JR get shot that March. The following December, John Lennon gets shot and killed, and then into the next year, Reagan and the Pope were both shot. There was like shootings were the thing back then.
Back then,
I wasn't finished with my sentence.
And then now it's like
shootings were the big thing back then of important people.
Oh well, let's not say that.
Anyway, my point was more like, how did we cope with? I didn't experience it, but I'm wondering how did people cope with? Go to our Facebook page and tell us, how did you cope with watching that on a Friday night and then not having anybody to talk to about it unless you called them on the phone, I guess, and you didn't work till Monday. Tell us what that experience is like, because now something like that happens, you go online and there's all these fan theories and you probably already knew it was coming, and whatever, if there are even any cliffhangers.
Yeah, mostly since at that point, like, it was popular, but wasn't as popular as it was about to become.
Yeah.
Right, and there's a book out there by I don't know if it's a man or a woman, Ian Ang. It's about the cultural impact of Dallas around the world, and there were college studies on how it helped bring about the fall of communism, and episodes coming into the Eastern Bloc and all this stuff, and just completely fascinating. Governments would stop meetings just to watch the episodes and stuff. That's a whole other topic, though.
Yeah. Anyway, South Fork night.
Yeah. JR, Bobby, and Lucy are deciding to go into dinner. It's just the three of them after obviously having pre-dinner drinks. And we're kind of catching up from what's been going on. We find out that Sue Ellen is not home, and everyone kind of expects her to be there.
We assume Ellie and Clayton are out again.
Yeah, and then Lucy is saying she wishes that Bobby would have brought Jenna. And then we kind of go over the whole thing where he had been out to dinner with Pam instead of Jenna. Sue Ellen then arrives home, and she looks like something's up.
Well, she got laid.
Like disheveled?
She's not hungry. She's already had dinner.
Yeah, they can't really figure out, like, JR can't figure out what her deal is. But she seems kind of in a bad mood / to me, she looks a little guilty.
She needs to go wash. She needs to go wash Peter off of her.
So she heads upstairs to John Ross's room to tell him that Peter's okay, and she saw him, and John Ross is like, I want to see Peter, and she's like, well, soon, but not right now.
Do you like the little red light in the corner of his room there? It's when she walks in, it's kind of lit in a red coloring. I don't know why that is, but it's very interesting.
Have to go back.
And then as she leaves John Ross's room, JR stops her in the hallway and gives her a bunch of shit for not showing up for dinner. He's like, so much for keeping up the appearance of a happy marriage. And she's like, yeah, I don't give a shit about that.
You wanted an open marriage? This is an open marriage.
Yeah, and you never cared before,
You know what? You know what struck me is later in the series, we know that her room is across from JR's room, but here she goes into a room on the same side of the hall as what we think JR's room is, and John Ross's room is on the other side. It's like they conveniently are shifting the locations of the doors, I'm noticing, to where they're entering their room.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
not noticed that.
So she does not want to talk at all. And he's like trying to find out because it's bothering him, like because he's getting some definite, like, something's up. And then he's like, oh, it seems like maybe you were out with another man. And she's just like, it's none of your beeswax.
But if she could swear at him, she would drop the F-bomb.
Yeah.
If this was not CBS.
She's like, we have an open marriage and separate lives. I don't have to talk to you about this, nor do I want to. Bye.
Peace out.
And then after...
Even though she's guilty, it's fair.
Thus, Dallas protest a bit too much, Sue Ellen, but all right, yes.
So she's the first one this time to deviate from into the open marriage. He has not apparently yet this season deviated into
that we see anyway.
Right, and we have to go by what we've seen, so at this point.
Yeah. So then Afton arrives home, and she's just there to pack up the rest of her shit and get out of Cliff's place.
Girl's still pissed. She come home,
she's done.
Didn't she come in with, I forgot to rewind it and see, did she come in with a bag, though?
It looked like it was a hanger with a thing on it, like a dress or...
Yeah, she came up with something, and I think it was to take the rest of her stuff.
Okay, all right. That adds up. All right. I was just like, she brought a bag with her like she was coming back home, and then I guess that's to pack it up, I guess. Okay.
Pack it up.
Cliff is there with flowers and trying to seem like sweet and repentant, and she's just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, no, I've had enough. I don't like the way you treat me, the way you talk to me. I don't like, and you literally slept with Marilee, and he's just like, I didn't actually sleep with her.
But
and she's like, but you would have if I hadn't walked in. And then he's like, and then he does a very masterful gaslighting situation here where he just fucking turns it around, and he's like, oh, you mean like how you did sleep with Gil Thurman before? And then she's, are you kidding me? Like, you know why I did that?
That's awful.
And he kind of set it up for her.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Like,
yeah, he set that up. Thinking that she did, I guess he thought she might do it. I don't know whether he thought she would do it or not, but yeah, he set that up. They kind of let's omit that part there. And she did that just because she loves him and he wanted him to get the deal and whatever. So that whole thing was icky.
It's all icky.
And then he's just like, to it when you read about Albert Salmi and his future and how he,
and he played Alec Baldwin's father on Knots Landing.
Yeah. So I wish that we could just write that whole story out.
He even was going to remember when JR had Sue Ellen entertain him at the townhouse, and he was going to go after her, and
they've all done it they've all done the whole.
Right.
All the men have done the whole. Let's leave my wife or girlfriend with somebody and let your tits hang out a little bit so that you can, impress them, and he'll have a few drinks and then we'll make a deal.
Cliff showed up late to a business dinner that Pam was going to be the TNA.
Right. Oh yeah, Cliff did it too. I guess Bobby didn't do it. Cliff did it with his sister.
Yeah.
And then he masterfully, this is actually JR level manipulation here, where he's then, well, so you're saying that it's okay to sleep with someone else for business. That's what, and she's like, that's not at all what I'm saying. He's like, but you are saying that. And she's like, what? Like, this is like a masterclass in fuckery right here. And she knows that it's really messed up, but also now he's just confused her. And she's just like, what?
And then he wants to move in on her and try to get her to have makeup.
And then she's just like, don't touch me. And then he's just like, oh, you don't want me to touch you ever? And she's like, yeah, not right now. She stays, but she's not happy.
That was a nice twist, because when JR would do that to Sue Ellen, they would still end up sleeping together. And you disgust me. You
Sue Ellen was.
But it was nice that Afton was like, no, don't touch me. Don't touch me. And then she's like, not now. And then she walks away.
Do we ever really see Cliff in any filmed, I don't know how to say it, anything really love scenes anyway?
I feel like early on when it was.
Scenes.
I think the most in-depth was him and Sue Ellen at the beginning, their first.
Yeah, but that still wasn't like the.
Yeah,
but it's more of a before and after, kind of just lounging around. He might have had his shirt off at some point, but it's you never
the smoke the cigarette after kind of thing.
There was
him and Afton or him and Sue Ellen go the way that JR and Sue Ellen did, the way Nicholas Pearce and Sue Ellen did. The way,
no. was that
Bobby and Pam or Bobby and Jenna.
during the panel at South Fork when Jenna Lee Harrison said, "Well, I married him." After Audrey was like, "Yeah, but I actually ended up in bed with him."
So it's like they always seem to cut that short before and I don't know if that's
Is that a Ken Kirschenwald decision?
Well, that was his thing, or if that was just they didn't think he could pull those scenes off, or we didn't think it was good for the audience to see Cliff that way. We might actually, I don't know.
Maybe he was self-conscious with his shirt off. I don't know. He just had minimized. I know there was a certain point where
creeping me out.
Was it Victoria Principal?
See, that's what I'm saying.
Was it Victoria Principal after a certain point said she would not be seen in a bathing suit? After a certain point in the series, Victoria Principal,
I don't know.
Or she
I'm not sure
limited
if
the
it's
number
Victoria
of
Principal.
times.
Shit, her tits were that.
Or buoys. Or if she limited the number of times that she would appear in a bathing suit in her contract. I don't know.
Well, that's also, I mean, Larry Hagman didn't want to be filmed. And then, I mean, honestly, Patrick Duffy didn't also. I mean, it made him. So when he was a producer, I think when he became a producer, that he was just like, no more shots of me without a shirt at the beginning of the series. Because he didn't like that.
In 2012, leave it to the Josh Hendersons and Jesse Metcalfs because they were younger and they didn't mind taking their shirts off.
I mean, if I had a good body, I wouldn't care. But I guess it's like kind of the point of, like you said, if you put in your contract to like, this is what I'm going to do, this is all, then you're kind of setting your boundaries. So
I mean, the whole reason I thought of that, because Audrey's very young there. Cliff's almost all gray, and it's like,
like, hello, daddy.
So were they like, maybe we just don't need to do that? Or
that makes sense now.
They're like, I don't think it's going to work if we try.
But they didn't have a problem with. Never mind, that was not really.
They cut Sue Ellen and Peter's scene short. Like you don't really see.
They did that. And I believe they also cut a bunch of scenes with Mary Crosby and Larry Hagman a little short because they both felt weird about it.
Yeah, and she said she felt weird because her dad.
It was
remember like the.
Yeah, it was also jumping forward to JR Returns where he had Larry Hagman in scenes with Tracy Scoggins, and Larry was how old and Tracy was how old, and it was just like.
Yeah, but by that time they're like older. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like I think of Lucy being like 17.
Right, but it was just. But at that age,
she was in her 40s at that point.
Yeah, but at that age,
and really, she's just in some lingerie. They didn't really.
Larry probably just did not want to take a shirt off at that age anyway. When he's in 70s.
I wouldn't.
True, but there's a difference between being a girl in your late teens, early 20s. That's just
with a 45-year-old.
Right.
I mean. Just kidding. Not on tape.
Ask Billy Joel's wife how she feels about being 3 years older than his daughter. That's another story. But anyhow.
So then we cut to Italy, where Catherine is still there, and she finds out more information about Noldo Marchetta.
I hate
that. Except where to find him.
Whom she's still calling Marchetta.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
and everybody, the other guy in the scene's like, Marchetta.
Yeah. Yeah, he says he left Italy 3 or 4 years ago, and no one's heard from him. And so she's like, "Well, I don't know where he's at, so I guess I got to go home."
My business here is done.
She really wants to find this guy because she wants answers. She wants to prove that Charlie is not Bobby's daughter, so that, of course, we already know that, so that she can maybe break them up and have a chance.
What's
that's the only reason Bobby is.
What's interesting is that Ronaldo Marchetta, whom you'd think would be into money and be accounts, has lost lots of money and has had to work.
Right, and he has a penchant for losing jobs and may have married Jenna for her money.
Right. Very important to know.
Guy's a gigolo, man.
Just a gigolo.
You know,
and everywhere I go, know the part I'm playing.
I love that song. Peter calls South Fork, and Lucy answers, uh-oh.
And it's, of course, like whenever somebody calls South Fork, the people involved in that storyline are always right there near the phone. Sue Ellen happens to be right there.
But that's not. This is a case where she was not who he was trying to call.
Right.
But when she answers, then she assumes that he has called her, even though she never asked why he's calling. which is weird.
It's very weird. She jumps.
But it provides the opportunity for Sue Ellen to overhear the conversation, and for Lucy to invite. Because if he called and Sue Ellen answered, then she wasn't going to invite him to the pool party on Saturday.
And there's no scene.
But
There's
Lucy
no
did.
scene.
And then we got no episode. We got to start over with writing this episode. Yeah, so it all works out. She's happy to hear from him. Peter's hair is shinier than anything I've ever seen in this. I don't know if you noticed that. The lighting and that was weird.
His hair?
Yeah.
Peter's hair was just gleaming
shiny
off the
surfer
screen.
boy.
He hasn't washed it since Sue Ellen touched it, Never washing it again.
I don't want to know where else he hasn't washed.
Bring your swimsuit. We're going to swim, Peter.
Yeah, him and his swim trunks. I'm like, oh Jesus. Okay.
He's gonna leave a ring of STD in that pool.
Oh my God.
Ugh.
He's never been with a woman before.
Sue Ellen's face is like, ah.
No,
She's
please,
so nervous and
everything's gonna blow up. He's gonna show up here and it's all gonna blow up in my face. Oh no, and JR's gonna find out. Ray's gonna get the shotgun out of the hall closet for JR.
And then we get to Ewing Oil, where Bobby seems to be having second thoughts about offshore drilling.
I always like how when some of these scenes start, JR will be dictating some random letter to Sly and going over it, and that we just a throwaway little bit just to show that they're working.
There were a lot of scenes in this episode that were like that because I start taking notes on what they're talking about in the beginning of the scene, and like that's not even the point of the scene. Like what? Right. Yeah, he's dictating. And then he's like, send or inquire about his wife, Betty, or whatever her name is.
Yeah, Betty Boop.
And then and then the actual point of the episode or the scene starts. So yeah, Bobby he wants to, if they can't find any new partners, then he doesn't think they should get into the bidding on the offshore.
It just shows the minutia that work is going on at the office and just kind of stuff is happening. It's not just
and who knows how many times they filmed that? They might have just been hamming.
Right.
All day long, and then they just take bits of it and throw it in an episode because they got to do 30 episodes a year. Nobody does anything close to 30 episodes a year.
No.
Right. It's so crazy. And so then after he and Bobby agree that they would, Ewing Oil, he's like, maybe we shouldn't do it, but let's not stop looking for partners, but we definitely would never go in on it alone. And then immediately when he leaves, tells Sly, hey, I want you to tell Cliff that we are definitely going it alone if we can't find a partner because I believe in it so much.
And she said, I thought you told Bobby, and never mind what I told Bobby.
Exactly.
Was this your first rodeo, Sly?
I know. Come on, Sly.
And remember when she first came on set, they referred to her as Heidi. She looked like Heidi, and she was very naive. That's what Deborah Nard told me.
And then at Barnes Wentworth, Jackie tells Pam that Cliff is finally at work. Guess he's very late today.
I wonder who took Jackie's job at the store.
They probably went under. Everybody left.
Yeah.
Right. Just Liz Craig ran off with Harrison Page.
And then we find out he's late because he and Afton, he spent the day making it up to Afton because, to get her to stay, he really needed to do that. And Pam's like, well, good.
Was that morning sex or what did that involve?
Well, we'll just have to.
It would be a lot more than that, I think.
We'll just never know, I guess.
So then I feel like we have almost the same scene that we just had at Ewing Oil. And Pam is having second guesses about offshore drilling. And then Cliff also agrees with her, like JR, like, yeah, it might be too risky to do it because that's a lot of money.
Nobody is offshore drilling. Nobody. Not going to do it. Nobody's interested in this. The story is going away.
Not going to do it.
Be prudent.
1,000 points of light.
And at South Fork dinner, Jenna is there, and everyone is happy that she is. And we get an update about her store. She's gotten rid of all the old stock, and she's changing everything.
Even the wallpaper.
More just sort of improv.
More minutia, just to fill in the blanks.
Yeah,
and just a little bit of like back storyline happening,
Right. Remind you that she's not waiting tables anymore because we're filming in California.
Right.
Which you can clearly tell. I hate that. I used to just never know, right? Like I didn't know.
I used to never know either.
I didn't even know they had a set in California that looked like the South Fork pool. And now you watch it like it's so obvious with the HD and everything.
I always love observing the one big tell that I noticed is cars not driving up the driveway and they just appear on set. Like they're being pushed.
And there's no wind on the set.
Right.
And all you hear are
Right.
like fake birds tweeting.
That's very noticeable now too to me. The wind.
Fake
They
birds
Especially
did
if you're
have
tweeting.
some fake wind in this
A little bit, yeah.
episode. That it was
Yeah.
it was definitely
But
a fake
when
wind.
it's real, it's like random and they can't control it.
Yeah.
You know, when it's controlled wind, it's like it doesn't interfere with the scene. You know, that's the.
I had the
I know.
opportunity,
And I never used to notice that.
I had the opportunity in 2012 to go on set of the recreated South Fork in Dallas at the
Never heard that.
South Lamar at the studios, and I have tons of pictures of the set, and just you can see the wood panel. I'm going to post them in a photo album on our group or our page or whichever we use more. But it's very interesting just to see the set as inside of a soundstage. It was very fascinating.
So they're talking about the Saturday get together, and Sue Ellen says somebody asked her if she was going to be there, and Sue Ellen's acting like, "Well, I might just fly down to the Gulf."
I might
the
totally
fuck that
not be
is.
there.
Which
Just
is where
fly
you
on the
come in
Gulf.
because you're the Gulf pilot.
Right. Yes, that's where I got the idea to become a Gulf tour pilot. Just, I mean, I
Mary
would
does
imagine
Gulf
this is
tours,
a
you do
common
Gulf
thing.
tours.
People just blow off their family and say, you know what, I'm going to
Right.
fly down to the Gulf this weekend and do what?
All the kids are going to be there, and of course Peter's going to be there, and it's going to be a big fun family event. And so I was like, yeah, I might
Donna
just
and
have
Ray
to
might come over.
jet out of town.
Deuces.
But they get her, pressure her to kind of stick around, and we'll find out obviously that she does. What's on that dessert tray at the oil barons?
Clayton the Lothario, JR called
What's
him.
that? What's on that dessert tray at the oil barons there that they bring over to the table?
Did he say Lothario?
Yeah, JR, before they cut to that scene, JR calls Clayton the Lothario.
What's that mean?
Instead of a Lothario? Oh, that's so funny.
That's like Pam saying Mary Lee, Jim Joe, Billy Ball.
So Clayton and Ellie are having dinner, no dessert, just coffee. And you said they're at the oil barons. I couldn't really tell where they were.
Yeah, I wasn't sure either.
I just assume everything is the oil barons if they don't identify it now, because it's always.
They were shooting at a different angle if it was, but
It's
it
a
looked
different.
like
I feel like
more
it's
of a
supposed to be
window.
someplace different. Yeah.
I wanted whatever was on the dessert tray. It looked like something with fruit topping. It looked like a cheesecake.
Yeah, looked good.
I'm replaying it, so it's coming up. I'll tell you.
Okay. Ellie then asked Clayton why she didn't know that he has a sister. And so then he's just like, she's, kind of crazy. She moved away years ago, and I don't know. She was a big dreamer. We haven't had a lot of contact until
A lot of crazy sisters, so she'll fit in.
right.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to her except for last year when her husband died, and we haven't mentioned that at all till right now. And he flew back there to convince her to move back to Texas, and she didn't want to. Okay.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, because like she said, after living in England for 30 years, it feels like home.
Right. And why
Yeah.
wouldn't want to come back stateside? You're comfortable. You've set up roots in a new location. You built a life there. And why rip it up just because your husband kicks the bucket?
It looked like some sort of chocolate mousse, maybe. I don't know what was on that. It rolled by so fast, the dessert
That
tray.
sounds really good right now.
There's 2 or 3 different cakes
I've
there.
had
or
a
something.
craving lately for butterscotch pudding.
Wow.
Butterscotch
When we're
pudding.
done here, maybe you can run out and
I don't know if
I have a package here. I just have
Actually, I
to
like
make it.
butterscotch, but
Yeah, butterscotch.
Now I want tapioca pudding.
now I want something. Yeah.
So then he invites her to, because I would assume at this point they'd normally just go home. And he's like, let's go dancing. Let's go to the bandstand. And she's like,
So the old folks are out.
Crazy.
The old folks are out late, and the younger folks are back at home. Role reversal.
Yep. And then next morning, Bobby is picking up Christopher at Pam's house.
Noticing the clock.
have some stupid conversation about the art on the wall.
Or the clock,
yeah.
or the whatever.
Yeah, the new clock,
yeah.
which Bobby's really impressed with until he finds out that she bought it at an auction with porn stash. And he's like,
Right.
no, I hate clock.
Right.
It's so stupid.
Stupid
It's the stupidest clock ever.
But again, another start to a scene that's like just has nothing to do with anything.
Right.
Yes.
Because they have 30 or so episodes to fill.
Right.
It's unlike the new series, which had 10 the first season, then 15 and 15, where it was just plot. And there was no small talk in between.
So then she apologized to him for bothering him about the whole Cliff thing, and now everybody's happy because nobody's going to do any offshore drilling. And they share the stories that their others, Jenna and Mark, weren't happy about them having dinner together, and maybe
And
we
then
better not
he's
do
just
that
like,
anymore, and whatever.
yeah,
All's well that ends well.
porn
All's well.
stash didn't like it. And he's like, yeah, Jenna said that you probably just did that so you could see me. And then she's like, Jenna said what? What? And he's like, yeah, isn't that crazy? And she's just like,
All's well that ends well with the offshore drilling. Plot close, move on. It's over. Done. Nobody's drilling. Yep.
yeah,
Goodbye.
No drilling.
yeah,
Right.
no drilling.
We're going to stick to the
South Fork.
No drilling.
stick to the land.
South Fork, and the party's about to start.
Saturday has come.
Raul's setting up some food in the patio there.
Yeah, Sue Ellen has, I guess, decided to stay in town. She's in her swimsuit already.
The tours were booked. The Gulf pilots
tours
were
are
all
booked, yeah.
busy.
And Lucy is not in her swimsuit yet, and she's worried because Peter's late. And Sue Ellen's like, don't worry, he's coming.
Who's more excited about Peter, her or Lucy or John Ross? It's really
Right, definitely, yeah.
Everybody cannot wait to see Peter.
And Peter!
well, I've already seen his Peter.
Ew.
But then, boom, there he shows up in the Jeep on the set.
And his Jeep and his crop top and shorty
in
shorts.
California.
There, wear shorts.
And John Ross sees him and comes running out the door.
Peter!
Mm-hmm.
Peter!
I can. And he's like, okay, let me
Pulls
go
him
in the
across
pool.
the soundstage pool area. Ugh.
And then now we're at the Oil Barons Club with Edgar Randolph and JR. And JR tells them, like, look, this is a good place for us to meet because during the week, this place is crowded. But on weekends, there's not a lot of people here. So we can kind of be low key. And Edgar's like, okay. He's a little suspect right now.
And JR in true JR fashion, what does he try to do?
He's looking for information from Edgar about the bids on the offshore track. So he thinks that he can just convince Edgar to
he can bribe him.
share the information. I'll just give you a little money and he'll give you a little percentage deal.
You grease my wheels. I'll
see
grease
if he
your
can
wheels.
buy him. Yeah.
Right.
And this makes Edgar irate.
Yes.
Yeah. He's above bribery and intimidation. That's why he was chosen for this, and he doesn't even stay for lunch.
No.
But this is finally a little something juicy, because that's not going to be the end of this, right? Like something finally juicy business-wise, which is always the best parts of the show, I think. Or when JR's, doing something dastardly. So, yeah.
When he has someone bent over a barrel and...
So this is the Walt Driscoll. This is going to be the Walt Driscoll, right, of last season.
It's seeming that way anyway,
season.
Yeah. But Edgar gets so mad and he throws down his napkins and he's like, good day, sir, and walks off.
And then he takes out his glove and he slaps him and goes, I want a duel.
Basically, yes.
We will duel.
If he had one, he would.
Yes.
And then we cut to the pool party, and this is such a classic, like, Dallas pool party. I love it.
Yeah. Yes.
It's in full swing. Charlie is helping flip burgers on the grill. Oh, John Ross wants Peter.
Has Peter not been in the pool because his crop top is still on
like
and he's dry?
Everybody's like, even when they get in the pool, then they get out of the pool, and then their hair is perfect again. So I feel like everybody's drying really quickly if they step out of the pool.
And it's probably what we're supposed to believe, the studio lights are the Texas sun heat.
Yes.
Texas.
Right. And then we have to instigate a new part of the drinking game. It's come into effect. Every time John Ross wants someone to look at his train set, we drink.
Jesus, a lot.
You want to look at my train?
I think by the end of this series, we're going to need new livers.
A lot.
Like, okay, Sheldon.
Oh my God, yeah. And then Charlie wants to look at it. Can I come look at it? Okay.
He didn't even have to ask her.
You're a girl. You can't come in my room. You have cooties.
She's like, I want to look at the trains.
That girl's supposed to be 13. There's no way no 13-year-old girl's like, I want to see a train set. No, she's like 9,
That's bullshit.
10 at most. Yeah.
Yeah, she's lacking the
and then
maturity of but what a 13-year-old is doing.
Yeah. They don't. The show is good at many things. Writing for anyone under 21/2 is not one of them.
Which is what
in
happened
my opinion.
which is what doomed the Mitch and Lucy marriage. They
No, I
didn't
think
know what
Christopher
to
is
do with.
written very well.
Actually, you know what,
Here,
Christopher?
because just sit there, kid. Okay.
Okay.
Or shoving grapes in Tyler Banks' mouth all the time.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's watching them in the pool. He's like, huh?
Tyler,
What?
Tyler, if you're out
What are
there,
you
if you're out
doing?
there, we're not
It's
teasing
stupid.
you. We support you.
And then we cut to Bobby and Jenna in the pool where they're kind of flirting, and then Bobby dunks her. And I'm wondering if
I
this
hate the
was
dunk.
not known by Priscilla that this was going to happen, because it kind of
Does
looks
it look
like
like? I mean, I didn't pay attention. Does it look like she's like, what the fuck?
More on-set shenanigans.
She looks
pissed.
taken aback when he dunks her.
Taken aback.
People still do that? Do guys still do that to women? We don't have a pool. I had a pool when I was a kid. My dad used to think it was funny to like throw my mom or my aunt in the pool.
My dad did too, and he learned really fast.
Right. Like
he
I'm
learned
like,
really fast.
do guys still do that, or is that like?
Yes,
I
they
mean,
do.
Okay, cool.
in my
I didn't
experience,
know if
yes.
like. Okay, cool. I didn't know if like. That,
Not cool. Not
Totally cool.
I didn't know if society had changed.
As someone with 3 older brothers, a husband and brother-in-law, yeah, mostly when you really don't want to be wet or your hair wet, they're like, no, it's really fun.
Well, that's what I always tell my nephews. I'm like, I have to go somewhere after I leave here. So, like, I'm not getting my hair wet.
Yeah.
And, like, when I tell them that, they know.
I'd be
because I had to
afraid
yell
because somebody's like always got their phone in their pocket or whatever.
And nowadays, people have
Yeah.
their
I would
phones.
murder
you're,
someone.
See, you're
I'm
smart.
not saying I wouldn't do it. I'm saying that I would like ask for your phone. If I ask you for your phone, like you need to step away from the pool.
Yeah.
I'm about to shove
Yeah.
you in.
Or what about, like, their new watch? What if they had, like, a Rolex on or something? I mean, that's not going to be me.
No
but-
one I know would have a
But
Rolex.
now I know when I go to a pool,
I
I
don't even know
put
where
my
that came
phone
from.
into one of those waterproof pouches that you can hang around your neck, so they know that.
Well, that's just asking to get pushed in then, Josh.
Yeah, no
yeah,
shit.
that is.
I would
Yeah,
100%
that's
shove
definitely
you in the
like,
pool. If I
push
saw
me.
you with that
If I
around
saw you
your
with a
neck,
wraparound plastic bag,
I mean,
full
like-
bag, I'm going to push your ass in
look at this
fast.
fucking dork.
Well, Sarah,
I'm
you
just
you
kidding.
Sarah, you come to Dallas in August, and I will have that water thing, and you can throw me in the.
Okay.
All right, I'm filming it.
All right. I know. Well, now,
Yeah.
now it's kind of like a dare. Now it's kind of a dare. I mean, shit.
It is. It's a triple dog dare.
Now she's booking her
Triple
flight right
dog
now
dare.
while we're sitting here.
I mean, I'm looking. That would be so funny.
So anyway, they went upstairs to look at the trains.
Right in front of the children, Peter.
In John Ross's room, that train is so exciting going around.
I was waiting for
Oh
it to
my
fly
gosh.
off the track. I was waiting for it to fly off the track and end the scene and distract Peter and Sue Ellen.
Yeah. Peter, who tries to slip her his new number, and she's like, what are you doing? Don't touch me. But people are going to see. And he's just like, no, they're not. What are you talking about?
Yeah, Slipper and Mickey.
And she's like, people are around. She's like, but there's not at my apartment. I want you to come by tonight. Come by.
Gonna slip her a Mickey.
Come by for a little onshore.
But Mickey's
drilling.
dead.
And so basically, like, he makes her promise to come over, and she's just like, okay, fine, I will. Just bye.
Watching this whole storyline, always saying it week after week, it's just you now realize just how disgusting and cringeworthy it is. It's awful. It's just creepy.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. It's
I
a
have to
it's
wa-
a it's a eye opener for me.
I have to wash. It's just awful.
It's just awful. Just awful.
No offense to Christopher Atkins, very nice guy.
I think
How
it would
can
have
we
been
fix it,
different
though?
if she would have seemed at all into it, but she does not seem into it at
Yeah.
all. She's just like, oh, I guess. All right.
Yeah, how do we fix this story? Is it
Only
is it,
doing this to
was
get
it
you back
the
into
acting?
school.
Was it the writing? Was it just the way they came at it? There's
I
so many
honestly
different
think it's
aspects to it.
Because she, like, Linda / Sue Ellen just doesn't seem into it at all. So therefore, it seems so
It
like
looks
he's
gross.
forcing the entire situation.
I think what really makes it weird is the way she dresses. I think the costuming maybe could have been improved. The way she dresses when in these scenes, and the way he dresses in these scenes, like they just don't.
It exaggerates
don't
the
sync.
age difference.
They-
It exaggerates.
Yeah, it really
exactly.
does.
Yes.
You mean like his short shorts and tube socks, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, well, she's wearing like a nice blouse and skirt.
He's
that
dressing
she-
like a
yeah,
teenager.
she
She's
bought,
dressing like a middle-aged mother.
Like she's a fucking mom that's rich and he's a kid that has on tube socks. Yeah, a little bit.
Right. Yes,
Jesus.
exactly.
Here's to you, Mrs. Robinson.
I mean, I'm kind of getting grossed out just thinking about it a little bit. I mean, that's so great.
I feel like if they would have even like just cut in a little bit of her like kind of like looking at him, looking a little more thirsty sometimes.
Yeah.
Like he takes off his shirt and she's
Licking her
just
lips
like,
a little bit.
yeah, just a
But
little
then it
bit of
would've looked
that.
like
It would have
porno,
really
like-
helped. Yeah.
Like when she was walking through the park, watching all those couples just,
Flash,
Yes,
going to town on each other in the
exactly.
park in the
We
middle
need
of the
more
day.
of that.
The slow motion football game, yeah.
Ew.
So we get at least that she's into the
Blech.
physical aspect, like, and just like, and he's just like, we're going to be in love forever.
See, that would just turn me. Mm-mm.
I just love you so much.
Mm-mm.
Well, if you don't love me forever, I'm going to come over and boil your bunny.
I love that movie. That's how crazy I am. I'm just kidding. I won't boil a bunny. I mean, I might do something to you, but I'm not going to boil your bunny.
Pam and Pornstache are playing tennis. And then Pornstache just like hurts himself out of nowhere.
I'm sorry. Pam and Pornstache and Pam's stunt double are playing tennis.
True. Very true.
Like those shots from behind, like that's totally not. Who is this?
Right, not her at all. Right.
Because I looked down at my
Exactly.
computer while I was making notes, and I looked back up, and you got the back head of this brunette woman. I'm like, who's he playing tennis with? I thought he was playing tennis with Pam. They double-lined the whole scene to see what was
Where's
going
the
on.
reddish hair? Where's the reddish hair? Come on, people.
I'm like, that's somebody else. Okay, well, that's weird.
Right.
If you're going to hire a stunt,
I never noticed that.
if you're going to hire a stunt double, at least give him the right hair color.
Yeah,
I know.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
but he got hurt. He gets hurt.
Yeah, like for real
they
gets
stop.
hurt, and then she's just like, "Oh, are you okay?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, I'm fine." Blah blah blah. But then we get
And you get
the
Pornstache.
whole, like she
Pornstache in
convinces
shorts.
Pornstache is in shorts a lot.
I know, but
So.
every time it's like
Of course he is.
Pornstache.
It's porn
Of
stash.
course. Yeah.
But she tells him that she seems to have convinced not to drill offshore, which he's like, "Cool, because that's bad news bears, and I'm not gonna do it. I'm not going in with that."
Nobody's offshore drilling.
Right. So
Nobody.
Nobody's offshore drilling. No one's doing it. Yep. Okay, then JR arrives at South Fork just in time for a South Fork pool race. Drink!
That was fun.
Oh yes. And you have your teams clearly
They're-
delineated along the side there. You people who they're rooting for on the.
And like, just, it seems like that pool, I mean, it would take like 3 strokes to be on the other side. Like,
Right.
they need some creative cutting at that point, I think.
That's where you.
And
That's where they use the
Jenna's
mirrors
hair-
and the harnesses and the fake swimming things to hold them in place, make it look larger. And it's all
How many
tricks.
laps? They did like 3.5 laps or something. I don't know what the rules were for this race. But they ended on the other end of where they started, but they went back and forth a few times.
And
Bobby
they're
wins
tired
barely.
for swimming those
Bobby
3 strokes
wins.
each way.
I know, he's so
Mhm.
exhausted. Jenna's hair is perfect again, like it was never wet to begin with. It's just the perfect feather. Ugh.
Mhm.
And then JR says hi to Peter, and
Yes.
Peter basically just glares holes into him.
Like, do you know where?
JR said he was. They were all worried about him, and Peter apologizes. He says, "We weren't all that worried."
We weren't that worried.
Yeah,
Great JR. We weren't all that worried.
JR, do you know where my note rope was, JR? Ooh,
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
stealing Sarah's words.
He wonders where Sue Ellen is, and they tell her that she has a headache, so she's gone upstairs to lay down.
Drink, 'cause
He's
she
like,
has
"Oh,
a-
well, I better
she
go
has a
check on
headache.
her."
Do we drink because she has
Right,
headaches?
drink. Yep.
Oh, yes.
Yep, got it again. Y'all are gonna get me drunk tonight.
Do a little dance, make a little love.
So then JR heads up and sees that she's just staring down at the pool. And he's like, "Oh, I thought you had a headache. Acne's not contagious, is it?"
Yeah, another great zinger from JR. He had a
So
few
good.
in this episode, but she's watching out the window. So why, if we're really trying to establish this, why are we not having her longingly watching Peter maybe
Licking her
have
lips.
him get up and take his shirt off and go off the diving board or something? Just add a little texture to this whole thing, so that otherwise it's just he's forcing himself on her almost.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So
And she's only,
Yes.
and
she's only
she's
slept with him to get him to go back to school.
and she should totally be standing up for herself because he's not like a rapist. He's just very, very needy, and she just needs to leave him alone. But anyway.
Right. He's just really
sell me
he's
on
really
the
needy.
idea.
Yeah, right. And she just keeps playing into it. So he thinks
Wonder what Peter's relationship was like with his own mother. Does he have mother issues that he likes this older mother women?
he did go visit his mom
Yeah,
in that one
he went
episode.
to visit her. Yeah, last week.
But
He needed her approval. I'm going to marry a woman 50 times my age.
I'm going to marry a woman that you probably was in your class in school.
I mean, not quite that old, but yeah. Anyway.
Never know.
And then she's super crabby, and she kicks him out of the room. She's like, "Get out!" Basically, you're boring.
You're boring, but Peter's turning me on.
And then he's just like, "Well, fine, but just to let you know, like my life is moving on, like, and everything's going the way I want it to. Like, I'm fine." And she's like, "Cool, then bye."
Like, see ya.
Good for you.
All right, guys.
Get out of my life.
Get out of my dreams.
Sarah, you're still
Get
black.
into my pool. And so then now Sly, it's nighttime. Sly is meeting Cliff at his office at night, and she says she's so nervous.
Makes her very uncomfortable.
Because they're going to do it. Just kidding.
Yeah. And did you notice that it says Barnes Oil on the door instead of Barnes Wentworth? I thought that was interesting.
I didn't look too
close. On the door
Sorry.
behind, it just says Barnes Oil.
I need to watch these episodes twice. Once to make notes and once to actually see what's going on.
Exactly, because I'll watch it. I'll stop it and try to do notes.
I didn't know if it was a double door and we did not see the other door. Maybe it had the lettering on it. I don't know.
That's what I thought. Don't they have a double door?
I don't know. But then why would the oil be on the one?
I don't know. It's coming up here. I'll see.
Unless it said something else. Barnes Wentworth Oil.
Unless it's Wentworth.
Company. Oil Co. Oil Company.
Yeah, I don't know. Company.
We'll look next time. That's our assignment. That's our homework.
Now I'm going to have to. It's going to bother me.
Well, like I said, it's coming up here. I'm replaying it, so just keep talking, and when I see it, I'll tell you.
Well, did you find out what kind of fucking dessert's on the dessert tray?
Yeah, I mentioned that.
It's like
You have to listen to the whole thing, Sarah.
Fuck off. Tell me again, because I missed it. I told y'all I can't pay attention
Said
to
it
stuff.
kind of looked like maybe a chocolate, some sort of, I don't know, what German chocolate cake, one of them, and one of them was kind of a, I don't know, mousse.
Never fucking heard that.
Chocolate fudge
Swear
cake.
to God.
I didn't say
never
German
fucking heard
chocolate. I
that.
said there was 2 or 3 different cakes on there, and one of them looked like maybe a chocolate
I
mousse.
thought there was like a
fudge.
cherry or a fruit thing, like a flambe or.
And see, now you made me miss it.
A flambe.
It does say Barnes Oil. So it is a double door. It does say Barnes Oil on the one door, but Sly's head's blocking the other door, so you can't tell what it says back there.
Yeah.
So
But it wouldn't
maybe
be
in the next one.
Barnes Oil Wentworth. It would be like
Could be Barnes
Wentworth
Oil Company.
You know what I mean?
Oh, you know what? Nope. Now you can see the other
Oil
door,
company.
and no, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It just says Barnes Oil on the
Wentworth
one door.
Oil Company. Okay.
But
that
I'm
makes
seeing
sense.
the other. I'm seeing the other door now,
Damn.
and it doesn't say that. It's
does
blank.
it?
So it's Barnes Oil. So I think maybe
Barnes
they're
Oil. Right. That's weird.
That's something else that would piss Catherine off too.
Yeah.
Right.
We'll see in the next
Maybe he did
episode
it
if
on
that changes.
purpose.
Maybe they were redoing something. They didn't get it fixed in time. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah,
she's
so
visiting.
basically-
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's basically just telling him super minimal information, like that it basically getting across what JR wanted her to, that he's going to go, Ewing Oil is going to go in, even if they have to go alone. And Cliff's like, doesn't make any sense. And she's like, yeah, but he has inside information. And then it takes him a minute, but he finally figures out in his own head, like the thing that they want him to put together.
He pulls out a file and he goes, "It's Edgar Randolph. It says right here.
Right. Yeah.
Intercontinental Shelf
okay,
something.
He thinks Randolph is in JR's pocket, and with Sly's help, Cliff can now outbid JR because Sly will give him the information that JR already knows. So I guess maybe they are going to do some offshore drilling, even though they lied.
Maybe. We'll see.
So the offshore storyline's back on again.
We're on.
Maybe.
Offshore.
Maybe.
Maybe. Hold on. Please wait.
Game
Please
on.
hold.
Game off. Bobby, Jenna, and Charlie arrive at Jenna's condo after the day. And this is a little Charlie-Bobby bonding moment where Charlie wishes Christopher they could both stay the night. And Bobby's like, oh, no, Christopher's too little. She's like, but I want to babysit him. And he's like, yeah, he's too little.
She wants a lot. She wants to watch The Late Show, and she wants to babysit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is Bobby her dad now? It's like he's like, no, you have to go to bed. Like, who are you to be telling the kid to go to bed?
Call him daddy.
Yeah.
Who's your daddy? No.
So then after she goes up to bed, Jenna's like, wow, you've really charmed her, you know? And then he's just like, yeah. And then Charlie accidentally cock blocks him when she comes back down.
Yep. Catches them about to lay a smoochy smooch on each other.
Which I would say, like, I'm getting the feeling that maybe they are now sexually involved, but like we've never like had that moment where like we've like word. Now crossed over.
Well, we haven't had the overnight, like where we see them,
right?
You know,
right.
Start and then the next morning you see them either. Yeah, we don't see them in bed the next morning, or having him leaving her apartment the next morning, or she's not staying over at South Fork, and so it's
like a lot of old school Hollywood where they did it in horror and in romantic scenes where it's implied, it's not seen, but
also
implied.
It's not convenient necessarily because you've got the kid in the house there, so
true.
You can't.
We don't know.
And we don't. Obviously, South Fork Ranch, you know. People,
we don't know how thick the walls are.
We don't know. Yeah, we don't know how thick the walls are in her condo. We don't know how thick the walls were at South Fork.
No, we know the walls are thin.
Apparently, things happen.
Pretty thin.
Beer hall.
Yeah. Beer hall. Marilee and Cliff, and she asks, "How long did it take your songbird to come back?"
This whole scene makes me really want to enjoy Iron Maiden beer.
Was that what it was? Iron Maiden beer?
I don't know about the rest of you, which is a real brewery. They're still around. They have many varieties. I looked them up. So, yes.
I should note that Beer Hall is brought to you.
Very like hard rock.
Beer.
This very metal beer.
This Beer Hall is brought to you by the same company that brought to you The Store and restaurants.
Beer Hall. Yes.
Yes.
What episode? I know the name of the episode, but what episode is this?
Number 15.
Did you watch?
That's what I thought. Okay.
She's just now going to watch it.
No, I know. I just want to make sure because I was in the wrong season when I was looking at something, so I was really confused.
Season 7, episode 15.
Yeah.
So Marilee's having a laugh about Afton and the whole situation and how she came back, ha ha ha. But he doesn't want to talk about that. He wants to talk about
business.
Getting her in on the deal with him because he thinks he's got the trump card to winning the offshore bid trade.
And she's like, okay, we can talk about offshore drilling as long as we fuck later. And he's just like,
there's some onshore drilling later.
As long as he drills her hole later.
Right. And I was watching this with my youngest son, who's 17, and my niece. And he just looked at me and he's like, you know what? This show, it's always like the guys are just like, I just want to talk about oil. And the women are like, let's have sex. And I'm like,
exactly.
Yeah,
bring him on and get the younger person's perspective.
Oh my God. Be careful what you ask her. Because he'll tell you.
And
he's going to tell us how problematic everything is.
I still have to revisit the idea of having Melody Anderson psychoanalyze all of these characters as a licensed therapist.
Oh, I thought you already had her set up to do that.
Yeah, I had to put that on the shelf because there was just not enough time to devote to it at the time. But I'm going to revisit.
Well, she could just do it and then send it to us too. You know.
That's true.
And then we cut to Catherine's home.
Catherine, how was your whirlwind trip?
So it's the middle of the day again, apparently.
Yeah.
We were at night. Now it's the middle of the day. Still the same day, but
we've skipped all the breakfast stuff, and nothing's happened ever since.
And Pam's like, "Why did you go to Rome? Like, what's the?" And she's like, "Oh, it just seemed good." And she's like, "Good. Like, why would you go there?" I don't know.
Had some friends there, and blah blah blah.
Yeah. And then Catherine just basically insinuates that Pam's been selfish and not paying attention to her at all.
Yes. But Catherine,
Which is not wrong, but
you're not wrong. Exactly. Pam acknowledges that she has been caught up in her own drama and has not
right. And then she's like, just wants to talk about Jenna. She's like, then that waitress and Bobby. I just don't understand what Bobby sees in her. And then Pam's like, well, she was his first love, so I guess there's that. And then she's like, oh, I don't know. Like, I think that it has to be he thinks that kid is his, that child. And then Pam's like, yeah, okay, well, I don't think so. So whatever.
I don't want to talk about this. Let's get
and then
some
she's just like, can we change the subject?
Yeah. Can we talk about literally anything else?
Literally anything.
Offshore drilling. Let's talk about that.
Right.
Talk about Marilee.
Go back to offshore drilling.
Anything but Jenna Wade.
Yeah.
That bitch Jenna Wade.
Jenna Wade.
Back to Mitch's old apartment building, which is now taken over by Peter.
Peter's in a towel shaving. Like, what do you have to shave, Peter? Come on.
The bang pad.
Yeah, and when she comes in and they're like face to face, literally looks like a child next to her.
Yeah.
A child.
He's doing that, where's my kiss? And I'm like, come on.
He looks
with shaving cream all over his
Let
face.
it go,
like the kid
Buster
that
Brown.
the father is too young to shave, and the father has put the shaving cream on him and just with a fake with the
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Practice with the no razor.
Well,
yeah.
But also, that she kind of feels like, I guess the word would be dirty, because she has her back to him the whole time when she's talking to him.
He has the water running.
You know what I mean? Like, it makes her look like she's embarrassed or she feels dirty.
She walks out in the hallway with her back to him, and he's got the water running.
She has this like long soliloquy.
Yeah, this is.
She knows that he can't hear her. She knows
There's
this.
no way. Yeah, they could have figured this out. They could have figured out a better way to. If that's how you wanted to do this, if you wanted to have her give her speech, you got to figure out a way to make that where she actually thinks he can hear her, because there's just no way.
I mean, how many people can actually hear other people when they have the water running and there's a conversation going on behind them?
Not me. I'm deaf.
I don't even make
half of being married is just yelling to another room. Like, what say? Like.
Yeah, well, you can yell to me and I won't hear you. So just tell me bad news.
I don't even.
I know you said something.
When I have the water running, I don't even make an attempt to try and listen if someone's talking to me. It's like, no, I've got the water running. I'm tuning you out. Even if I could hear you,
well, Peter didn't either because he had no idea she was talking.
Right, because they had their backs to each other.
Like, you didn't hear any of that, you motherfucker.
Plother mucker.
For like 2 strong minutes, she's talking. But never once turns to look to see how he's reacting. It's just such a stupid.
Because she doesn't want to know. She's like, I did my due diligence.
Such a badly. I mean, maybe this is why the director only got one episode.
Exactly. That's why the director was out after one episode.
Yeah.
Now, how would Larry?
And then he turns the water off, and she's like, "Right."
How would Larry have directed?
Right.
And he's like, what?
He's like, oh, I didn't hear anything you said, but hey, I have something to say to you. And that's that, like, I can do anything if you are with me. And that's the only reason. Like, you give me strength and
then
power.
She feels
and
like an asshole.
And she's just like,
But she's like, that's nothing to what I just said.
I half expected him to start singing "You Are the Wind Beneath My Wings."
Basically, if that had been a song. Yes.
It would have made more sense, I guess, if he had been like in the shower and she's standing right outside the door, kind of just like talking towards
right
while he's in the shower, or with their back turned while he's like taking a whiz or something. Just anything but standing all the way across the room while he's shaving in the water.
Sitting on the toilet taking a crap, and she's trying to.
Yes, that would have made more sense than this.
I mean, just
I'm sorry to dwell on that.
See, if that was happening, I would be laughing.
I just hate that scene so much.
Sue Ellen, can you pass me the modem? I've got diarrhea.
And it's again like, girl, you owe him nothing. You owe him nothing.
He needs her. He can do anything now because she's with him and he loves her.
Yes. I mean, I guess so she feels needy. Like bad because she's like leading him on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Yes, it's very needy.
Again,
gross.
Chris, we like you, but storyline is garbage.
And for her to
they made it like that they made him like a little pansy.
Carrie said that they needed an older looking actor, maybe somebody who was like 25, ambitious, upcoming business guy, rather than just like, 19-year-old
Maybe.
college.
I also think they needed to show some actual interest from Swellen. Anything.
Yeah, I think that made it look gross.
The chemistry wasn't there.
Because she looks like she's doing something
Well,
bad.
she's even said they didn't get a chance to meet. She didn't get to meet her love interests very often, like before, or at all before they started filming. So they cast him without them actually meeting. So.
That's crazy.
I bet
they would not do that these days.
It really is.
Jerry Hunter.
You've got to have some kind of chemistry.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we come to the final scene.
Yes. Edgar shows up at Ewing Oil, and
Nice.
JR has invited him, and he's come just out of curiosity, just to see what else JR has to
And
say.
JR said that he liked the fact that he's a man of integrity, can't be bribed. That means nobody else can bribe him, which means I'm going to get this deal done because I have the inside track.
Because now I'm going to blackmail you. And he's just like, wait, what?
Pretty much.
I'm in my
And
office.
he shows him a file, and he's just like, oh my God, you can't let anybody know anything, but like this will ruin me. And he's like, yeah, I know. It'd be a shame if that got out, huh?
And I like
He's
how
such
it
a
started
dick.
in the secretary's area, and then he goes, come into my office. Like he's leading him in. The lion is bringing him into the den to slaughter him.
That's exactly what it,
Right.
This scene makes the whole episode worth it.
Yes.
Yeah. This is well filmed and well constructed. The dialogue is great. And then he pulls him in there and he's like, well, we better be careful with this information. We wouldn't want it falling into the wrong hands.
Classic
It
JR.
shows, it shows the true JR.
Perfect JR, yeah.
The JR that we all love to hate.
Whatever it is in the file, we don't know what it is, but it could,
It's explosive,
ruin
obviously.
Edgar, but they'll come to an agreement, and that secret's
Enough to
safe
make him
with JR.
piss in his pants.
And scene.
And it's freeze frame on JR, smiling, smirking,
So-
whatever.
so
drink
drink.
once.
God, whoever's drinking heavy shit tonight's drunk as fuck. Which is not me, by the way.
Terry Carver, are you drinking heavy stuff tonight?
I am giving this a 4.5 bourbons, which I'm going to guess is higher than most people, but mostly just because of the pool party / pool race, because that's so like classic Dallas for me. So I'm doing it 4.5 bourbons and a swim race.
And I'm going with a 4.45. The end scene did make it. There was the classic pool party and all that stuff, but Carrie, you have to be up at 4:30 a.m. That sucks. And I am giving it a nice blackmail file too.
Okay. Brad, you
okay. I'll give it a 4.46 to fall, since Josh and I had the same number, but I just changed it. And a pint of delicious Iron Maiden beer.
Yeah.
There you go. Good job. I'm going to give it a 4.25, but I'm going to say with Afton moving her motherfucking shit out.
Afton, get out.
There you go.
Ah, yes.
Awesome. So next week we will be talking about season 7, episode 16, episode 147 of the series.
Volume.
Some do, some don't.
I'll quit the government before I give you any information on those bids. If you resign, I'm going to give that information I have to every newspaper in this country.
What do you want?
I don't want to hurt you. And I don't want to be hurt either.
Bobby and Jenna belong together. After all, he is the father of her little girl.
Now, you don't know that.
Oh, yes, I do. I've known for a long time.
I want you. I really want you.
That means we're like halfway to episode 294. Or
That's
thereabouts.
right. Any closing sentiments from anyone?
I think that was it. I mean, the math
again,
there.
yeah.
I've been thinking about that for a
That
while.
was quick math,
Yeah.
Josh.
My little last minute sentiment is TV related, and that if anybody else was watching Severance, the show just ended. Perfect, stuck the landing. And if you haven't watched Severance from Apple TV yet, I highly recommend it because it is amazing.
That is something that we have talked about, and maybe we need.
It's 2, and I don't know if they're coming back, but if they didn't, it's fine because it's perfect.
That is something we have discussed, off air, and not that we're on air, but off without recording it. We have discussed it, and we haven't done it yet. But at some point, maybe down the road, maybe when we take breaks in the summer, we can come together for those discussions about what we've seen, stuff that we've seen that you maybe haven't seen, like because I told you guys about Adolescence is new on Netflix a couple weeks ago, and I watched it over the weekend, and like
it.
I need to watch that too.
Phenomenal, 4 hours.
I watched the trailer and it looked great,
it's
so I'm going to watch it
soon. One evening watch, and you're done, and it's really, really good. But I think if we be on the lookout for that,
and I'm moving through
listening to us talk, we're going to try to put together a few little extra things.
I'm moving through 1923, and Janet Montgomery from Salem has joined the cast. There were people that were at the Farrah Fawcett event in Dallas the night before the South Fork experience last October. Donna Mills and Jacqueline Smith were supposed to be there, but they weren't there. They were off filming an episode of Dr. Odyssey, which is actually airing Thursday nights.
I heard that was supposed to be good.
So the episode that they were off filming and were not in Dallas, and the reason they weren't in Dallas is airing Thursday night. So if you want to watch that, and again,
Dr. Odyssey, is that a show or a movie?
It's like a
Ryan Murphy show. Yeah.
Does it have? Is it the one that has the Jackson guy in it that I like?
Don Johnson is the captain of the ship.
Yeah, but who's the other person? There's somebody else in it too. But I love
there's
Don
a Ryan Murphy Love Boat.
What?
It's
not. What you're telling me?
Love Boat, but it's the Love Boat.
But is it basically?
It's the Love Boat. I haven't watched it.
Okay.
I've only seen the previews.
Joshua Jackson from Dawson's Creek is the ship's doctor.
And I love Ryan Murphy.
So. He's the ship's doctor.
Joshua Jackson.
Right.
Holy shit. Okay, I didn't know about that. I'm gonna have to watch it. Okay, well, thank you everybody. And we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Take care.